Welcome, class, to a workshop on Coach Joe rules. In this lesson, we will review Coach Joe rule number 19, which states, run all unit tests frequently. In an adventure game application, a code change is needed to add the monster type to the end of the display name. Make the change to the supporting tests. Make the code change. Run these 3 tests. Everything passes. Deploy the code, and the deployment fails during the unit test stage. It turns out other areas of the application were dependent on the code change and their supporting tests failed. You should have run all the tests before deploying the code. When changing the code, often you are aware the current change will cause a compiler error. Other times you inadvertently create a compiler issue, likely in another class. Fortunately, the compiler will detect and highlight these issues. In most languages, detecting broken tests after a code change is not provided automatically. You must manually run the tests. Remembering to run the tests often is the purpose of this rule. Each developer will have their own preference when it comes to the frequency of running tests, and all situations are different. Is this a large application or a small application? Will all the tests run in under 2 minutes, or will they take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or longer? As you can imagine, running the tests too frequently might not be a good use of time. Not running them often enough can create future problems. Since there is no industry standard to follow, you'll need to find a happy balance. Ideally, you will want to run the appropriate tests after each code change. Most developers follow these steps. Before making the first code change, run all the tests to make sure you have a working branch. This will prevent any unnecessary delay while working with your changes. Try to make changes in one class file at a time. This includes the code and supporting tests. When completed with the code changes, run the supporting test cases. If they pass and you feel these changes are complete, expand to running the suite of tests for this class. Before moving to code changes in another class, run all the tests to make sure they pass. This gives you confidence the change didn't break anything in another area of the application. Repeat this process for all changes. Sadly, I've seen junior and mid-level developers make the mistake of several code changes without running the tests. To their surprise, tests are broken everywhere. Some tests are easy to correct based on the code change. Sometimes the code change was wrong and the test exposed the problem. Other times, hours of investigation, debugging, and rework is needed to discover what went wrong. I challenge you to run the appropriate tests after each code change. Leave a comment down below with you and your team's frequency for running all tests. Look for other helpful Coach Joe videos. Remember, future senior developers, make it work, prove it works, then make it better.
Ready, break!